Welcome back to the Home Studio Simplified channel. Today we're going to be doing yet again another gear review. This time it's going to be on the Warman Inferno humbucking pickups. These pickups offer 4-way wiring output on both pickups, which allows for a huge variety of coil tapping options. And by the way, the wiring diagrams are available to download in PDF format. The pickups come pre-wired with both coils in series, and all you have to do is just simply cut through the wires that connect both coils to wire them a wide variety of ways. And again, the wiring diagrams are available to download for free, so you don't have to worry about whether you're wiring up anything right or which color code is which. And so each pickup has 6 adjustable pole pieces on the first coil. The other coil has the flat non-adjustable pole pieces. The neck pickup is a warm 7.2 k-ohms with an inductance of 4.2 Henries. This actually gives you a warm bluesy rock type sound. And the string spacing option on that is overall 50 millimeters. So to save you from grabbing a calculator, that's 10 millimeters between each of the pole pieces. The bridge pickup offers a powerful 13.2 k-ohms with a very healthy inductance of 8.14 Henries. Now overall, the string spacing on the bridge is 52 millimeters, which gives you a 10.3 millimeter distance between the pole pieces. Now, yet again, this is another series of these. Every time I do these reviews on these pickups, I'm just completely blown away. And I did a guitar giveaway on my channel not too long ago, which, by the way, if you have not subscribed, I would definitely suggest that you do that, simply because I like to give away stuff from time to time. And in this instance, on I think it was last Christmas, the Christmas before, I gave away a guitar with Warman pickups loaded into it. Now, to set the stage for the sound examples that you're about to hear, this guitar was a first act guitar. It was not a high-end guitar. It was a well-kept, well set up guitar, but it was not necessarily a high-end guitar. And the reason why I chose this guitar to use the Warman pickups in was because I wanted to display how that you can take a guitar that may not be a high-end guitar, and by swapping out those pickups, give it a completely different sound and make it sound almost like a high-end guitar. And in my personal opinion, one of the main things that will change the sound of a guitar and give it depth and tone and richness and clarity are the pickups. If you can change the pickups out, you could pretty much take any guitar and make it sound halfway decent. Obviously, there are fingers that are involved, there's skill that's involved from the player, but the main thing is for you to actually switch over and change out those pickups. And of course, you can go down a rabbit hole with that too. Got to be careful on that. But let's go ahead and listen to some sound examples here of the actual pickups in action so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So to cover the back end of exactly what's going on here, my guitar is going through a Mogami cable. That's going then into the Roland Cube 20, an excellent little small amp. That is then being recorded through an SM57, which is going into my Scarlett 6i6 interface, and then that is going into Cakewalk by BandLab, which you are looking at right now. So nothing really too scientific here. What I simply did was just played a series of chords, a chord progression of G, C, D, and E, and then from there I just simply recorded all of those in the neck and the middle position and the bridge position. And then to make it easier on you guys, instead of having to listen to one track and solo it, go to the Inferno track and solo it, and there'd be that break in between where you could not hear them back to back, what I did is I simply created these compositional tracks where the first waveform that you're going to see here is the original, and it's actually labeled original, and then the second waveform is going to be the swapped out Warman pickups. So this should be very easy for you to hear. If you have a set of studio monitors or headphones, it would definitely be needful if you would go ahead and plug those in now, because listening on your phone, you're not going to be able to pick up on the subtle nuances sometimes that are from one pickup to the next, especially when we get into the middle position. It's kind of harder to hear what's happening in that middle position just on a normal phone speaker. So break out those headphones, those earbuds, or something of that nature, and let's get started listening to these sound examples. So in this first sound example we're going to be listening to, it's going to be on the neck position. And as already stated, this first waveform that you are going to hear, this is going to be the original pickups, and then the next waveform that you're going to hearing is the Inferno pickups. Alright, so I'm going to be quiet here for a second so that you can take in all of the sonic goodness here. So without further ado, okay, so I'm sure that you are able to hear that, as usual, the original pickups are very muddy. They're dark sounding. I'm sure there's probably some wiring issues there or some shielding issues there, because if you have your gain turned up on your preamp or whatever you're listening through right now, I'm sure you'd be able to hear that there is actually like a high-end hiss that's coming from these original pickups. And as I've said in previous gear reviews on these pickups, when I've swapped them out with these same pickups, I'm not sure if necessarily it was wiring or if it was shielding, but it obviously it's not pleasing to the ear. However, I did notice immediately that whenever these pickups were swapped out, that hissing did go away. So kudos to Warman for that as well. Either their shielding was correct or I just wired these up better than the original wired them up. So let's go on to the middle position now. Same thing here. First waveform that you're going to be listening to is the original pickups in the middle position, and then the second waveform you'll be listening to are the Warman Inferno pickups. Yet again, a lot more clarity, a lot more articulation in the strings themselves. There's just something that's happening there, especially in the high mids, that just is very pleasing to my ear personally from what I'm hearing. And by and large, the sound is very usable on either pickup. Just to be completely honest, in that middle position, I would use that sound on either pickup. However, when you start to add effects, especially from a pedal board, when you start to add things like delay and reverbs and distortion especially, you're going to want that clarity in order for those notes to be articulated properly and to be heard properly so that they translate well to the ears of the listener. Let's go ahead and take a listen now to the bridge position, and we'll see what that has to offer. Yet again, another beautiful display of richness and clarity. I absolutely love the sound that I'm hearing in my headphones right now. I can't say enough good things about these pickups, honestly. And I would make mention too, by the way, Warman sent me these pickups simply for review, and there was no talk before then of, hey, build our company up, share our sound examples. They simply seen that I had bought a pair of Tennessee Revivals years back, loved them so much I did a review on them. They liked the review, and so therefore they said, hey, would you review more of ours, because it would be sort of, one-sided or slighted, I guess, in their opinion, if they were to put videos up of their own gear. When you include audio examples in the situation that they're in, it would almost be kind of like a conflict of interest. So they couldn't really share their own sound examples, because people would say, well, you guys are doing something to it to make them sound better. So in my case, I'm doing absolutely nothing but taking the pickups that they have sent me and swapping them out, and these are completely dry signals. These are unmitigated responses to whatever I've seen from them, and they are completely honest reviews. I can tell you that if I do not like something, I'll be the first to tell you I do not like it. But I cannot say anything bad about these pickups. If there is any downside to ordering from Warman, it's the fact that they're located in the UK. So if you're from the US, the only downside is that your shipping may take a little bit longer. But believe me, it will be worth it, and the price point is absolutely amazing. So I'm not being paid by them, I'm not being sponsored by them per se, but they are sending me pickups from time to time for me to do a review on, and I will gladly accept that and help you guys out. So, and by the way, if you remember correctly, if you followed the channel for any length of time, when I did this guitar giveaway, I actually was sent 3 different pickups. I was sent the Mirror Man pickups, the Inferno pickups, and the 12 gauge pickups. And when I gave this guitar away, because I didn't need all those extra pickups laying around, I actually gave the guitar away that was loaded with the Inferno pickups, and then I gave the set of the Mirror Mans, and I gave a set of the what was the other ones I just said? Inferno, the ones I'm doing right now. I gave those away as well. So there were 3 winners that Christmas. So yet again, all the more reason for you to subscribe and get on board with the channel. So in this last sound example that we're going to hear, this is something that I thought was a really cool idea, because it helps you to kind of hear what it's going to sound like when it's running through a system or through an amp type simulation. Now in this case here, I've simply taken a dry DI straight into my 6i6, so there's no coloration whatsoever, and then I added a little bit of an effect here to give it sort of like it's running through an amp simulation or an amp sound. And there's just a very little bit of grit and distortion on this, nothing too major, because this is a bluesy style track. I wanted to give it that bluesy sound. And so in the first portion of this, you're going to be hearing this first portion played through the neck. And then as it goes into the next measure, it'll be played in the middle position, and then it'll close out with the bridge position. So keep an eye on the top of the screen here. You'll see these markers. Whenever those switch, that's whenever I have switched positions on the song. So I think that's kind of a cool way to hear what it might sound like in each position in a setting where there's like a mix added to it. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that, and then we will get some feedback from that as well. Okay, so there was sort of a little representation of what you would hear if it was played through an amp, or in this case an amp simulator that I kind of created here. Yet again, articulation was beautiful, the sound so bluesy, love that sound, and that tone was coming out of a low-end guitar. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, when you swap out these pickups, you gain so much sonic soundscape and so much sonic real estate that you did not have before when you were just using those stock pickups. Now granted, those stock pickups were, you know, the first act pickups, and so pitting these against those is kind of it's kind of unfair. But at the same time, I am going to be releasing a video very soon on the channel that is going to be covering the actual Mirror Man, the Inferno, and the 12 gauges against one another. So I think that's going to be very cool to hear the sonic differences between all of their pickups. And so then we'll get to hear kind of, you know, what exactly is going on there. So if this is your first time here, guys, I would definitely suggest that you go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell icon so that you'll be the first one to be notified if I upload a new video. And until next time, I guess I will see you all later.